ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 12 Steam Podcast. Here we'll be going over the newest chapter, 1156 for One Piece. And we get a really nice cover art for this one. 1156 is definitely a nice one because we have 11 in there. You know how the ones go for my boy Zoro. And we have 56 in there as well. You know, the symbolicness that has for Luffy. So this should be a good chapter. Neither one of them are going to be in it, of course, because we're still in the flashback right now. But the cover art, really nice. We see Silver's Rayleigh, Roger, and Scopper Gaban. And then we see Zoro, Luffy, and Sanji, of course, showing their parallels to one another and going from there. Now, this is a really cool cover art. I like the cover screen for it. It's really nice. I love the fact that we have Luffy running around very much free-like. Nami's in there as well, just chilling, drinking looks like to be orange juice or a tequila sunrise, one or the other, but you know what happens. But we're gonna get right into the chapter though, because the chapter itself is really cool because it introduces some of the most amazing power hitters of this era. We're talking about 1156 idols, where we start with the world just looking over and one of the islands that we're currently on, all the men are knocked out with heart eyes. Now, we've all seen heart eyes before, and where does that come from? Boa Hancock and her lovely presence that she brings with her everywhere she goes, which means the Kuja pirates are here. And with that being said, the Kuja pirates during this time frame has a captain known as Gloriosa, who we all know to be future Granny Neon. But beautiful, amazing. She's walking around, she's doing her thing, she's holding up to the pure beauty that she really is. And the beauty that she gets comes with fan letters as well. But the fan letters aren't as much as somebody else on this ship, and that person is none other than Shaka. Shaka. Shaka is the most beautiful woman of this era, and it does not have a candle lit to it. Glorioso is amazing, but Shaka just gives off that gothic vibe that we all love. We all love to see as well. And it was not the only people who think Shaka is freaking amazing, because we know that Roger is doing this era as well, and Roger actually sees the Kuja pirates, and they have been getting into some tussles a lot. Now, with the tussles that they have getting into, it seems like Roger never wins these, and it's proven because as he lands over there, they say sees her, hey, we're finally going to do this. This is the day you hand over your first mate, Shaka. Like this is where it's at. This is how we're doing it. And of course, Gloriosa is like, oh my God, it's Roger. Roger's here. I'm going to go see my future husband. And jumps over there to try to take care of business. But before she can even get there, we see Shaka jump in and take out everybody. And of course, Gaban pops up first, gets one shot, kick right to the face. You see his axes flying in the air and them going down. And then next up comes Roger. Roger comes in ready to swing it. And he's like, what? Like, what are you doing, Gaban? This is how you do it right here. And as soon as he goes in, Shaka also takes him down, and he just simply says, damn it, I love you, Shaka. Shaka is literally standing over Roger. He's lumped out, and everything is down for the count. So Roger, of course, has the biggest crush on Shaka, but Gloriosa, Granny Neon, has the biggest crush on, of course, you guessed it, Roger. But Shaka doesn't have the eyes for any of them, because herself only knows that, you know, a few things about life. And number one thing about life is that she would belong to no one. Absolutely no one. And as she's walking out, she goes, I feel for you, Ray. You know how much her and Rayleigh are still in contact with one another today, to this day. So as she walk it out, she says, I feel for you, Ray. Ray, of course, gives off that obviously Zoro-ish nature when he goes, yeah, a bunch of idiots over here. Pretty much so. Kind of like what we see if Boa Hancock were to ever come up on a ship and, you know, were to take would have fallen in love like head over heels as she does already with Luffy. And Sanji will probably get knocked out, same way as Gabon did, and fall in love. But as well as Luffy being put down. But I don't see her boy ever landing a hand up on Luffy because she is head over heels for him. And it never happened. Anybody who thinks about touching Luffy will get beat down. As they have a little interaction, and Shaka winks at Rayleigh, we suddenly see a ship in the background, and this ship in the background obviously has a Navy ship written all over it. And it's not just any Navy ship, it's the ship that belongs to none other than the man, the myth, the legend, Monkey D. Garp. And Garp has a cannonball in his hand ready to throw it, and he says, hey, let's go ahead and knock them all out and just take them all, the Kuja pirates and the Roger pirates. Let's go, boys. And the Kuja pirates are simply looking on and say, yep, time for us to skedaddle. And as they are obviously finna skedaddle, get up out of here, they say, hey, leave us, take everything with you guys. And Roger says, hey, don't take everything, leave us at least some food for us to survive. But F all that, we gotta go ahead and attack right now. We have Garp, the future hero and grandfather of Luffy, and Roger, the future king of the pirates and father of Ace, finna go head to head with a meteor fist and a rampaging spirit as they collide. Fist full of hockey, sword full of hockey. Sword cuts Garp, punch catches Roger, knocks each other out, sends it to flying. You have Conqueror's hockey just flying and sparking every single where. Now, as they're going through this, Gloriosa is knocked out right now because she's seen Gloriosa gives me very much so Boa Hancock vibes, because Gloriosa is knocked out from seeing him, just like the presence of Roger simply put her down for the count. It made her loins a little tight. But they come back, hey, get a grip, time for us to go. Shaka of course can take the mantle of the Empress if she wants to, because of her popularity and how high it is reaching more and more heights that goes farther beyond what Gloriosa can do. But of course she doesn't want to take over that reign. Now we jump around to Elbaph, and we go down to Ida's bar in Elbaph, where they're having a conversation. The conversation gets a little rough because a grown man comes in and simply is disrespectful, but he also is respectful because he saved Loki's life. Loki is unconscious, knocked out, trying to catch his breath, and this giant sailor comes in and says, what do you mean you aren't sure? Save the boy. And now we're at Ida's bar in Elbaph, where of course a boat capsizes and Loki starts to drown. But Loki drowning, it's going to be a while before somebody can get him out. But when they finally get him out of there, he's still unconscious. And there is a doctor around, but the doctor doesn't want to do anything to Loki because they are still scared of Loki. And Ida, of course, gives that man a hearing, finger wag and all kind of things. I love Ida. She's just there to just be alive. I love her presence for sure. She gives me that girl from Clavius. If you ever watched Clavius before, she gives me the nurturing one that does the breastfeeding. But I get off topic. We go back into it, and of course, Hero is trying to calm down Ida, like, hey, it's not his fault. Just listen. Loki decided to go out to the sea. This is what happened. He drowned. It's happened hundreds of times. He's come right back. He'll be fine. Trust me. And everybody's in there like, hey, no way. You want to live here with us, and that's the offer that Ida is asking Loki. And Hero and Loki both go, no way. And they get into a little altercation again, where Loki kind of crossed the line in a way, by saying, hey, you're trying to pretend to be my mom just so you can have all the money and move into the castle. And that's not the case at all. Ida is obviously, she loves the kids, both Loki and Hero. She loves the dynamic that they're both brothers. And she takes care of all the kids that are down below in the underworld as well, because we know that her bar is right off of the shorelines where boats dock at before they come up to the tree. So That being said, we do see that a lot, but Loki has a mind of his own. We all realize that Loki's idol was Rox D Zebek, and he is going to try and try and try again over and over and over to join them. He gives me Luffy when Luffy was a kid trying to join Shanks' crew. This is why both of their lifestyles are a little parallel to one another. The only difference is that Loki is with his father, not a father figure, but his actual father, while Luffy had, of course, the village raising him in Fuchsia Village. Now, I love the fact that this parallel happens because every time Rock shows up, it's like Shanks showing up and Luffy going directly after Shanks, like, "Hey, I want to join a crew." This is exactly what Loki is doing with Rocks. And speaking of Rocks, we see that he finally has Pirate Island under his control. And not just Pirate Island under his control, but it's so many pirates that are coming because they see that the Rocks pirates are literally the epitome of evil right now. They're the ones who are truly taking on the mantle of running the sea off of evilness. And as they're doing this, some random dude shows up with a cloak on. And he has a axe on his back, and he's just walking around like, "Hey, where's Rocks? I want to join his crew." And as he says that, a little drunk tells him, "Shut up. Hey, you want to join? Well, get in line, basically, pal, because there's no way in hell you're joining. You have to be crazy. Everybody wants to join them. They're the rock stars of the sea." No pun intended. And this guy goes, "Huh, yeah," and just grabs his entire head like he's finna strangle him. And as he grabs his head, the cloak comes off, and it realizes that it's Mobster Kyo, aka the future Silver Axe. And with Silver Axe being there, Shakky's rival, shit's about to go down. The hitman is in town, and they're telling him like, "Hey, be careful, because if you want to find him, you got to go to that weird fish-looking rock in the middle of the." And before he even finishes it, because it used to be a fish apparently, two eyes pop in, which makes it a skull now, and that is Rocks actually blowing two holes into the wall to make it a view what they can see from their hideout, see the entire island, and go from there. So this wasn't officially a skull on Pirate Island. That used to be a fish like meteor thing, which is pretty cool. But as they get to talking, Rox is finally telling them, "Hey, this is it. There's two devil fruits in the world that I want, and one of them you can find on Elbaph, but the power of it only can be unlocked by King Harold if he eats it." Now, this has to be the power that Loki has stolen from his father, of course, because he knew for a fact that he was going to be in trouble when his father passed away. This has to be the fruit that Loki ate that truly made him into who he is right now. Either a trickster or a demigod, whatever you want to call him, but it made him who he is today. And those are the two fruits that I want. No, that's nothing else. And Captain John, of course, Pirate Captain John, and of course Charlotte Lillian, aka Future Big Mom, are both there as well. Like, hey, they're only known as legends, and if you want it, hopefully we can find it, right? And Lillian goes, "I got my information network up on a hunt for it. So by any means necessary, there's going to be somehow, some way this working out." And her information network, of course, is one of Lillian's partners, Stolzen, and Stan Stolzen, of course, is there. Like, hey, like, we're talking big dreams here. I'm making sure that we get this done with. See, he looks like a little mobster, had a little feather hat in there and a little hat on. Looks like, Capone Banji. Looks like he could be from the North Blue for sure, from the mobsters. But he's, of course, a partner. And not just him there, but also Barbell, the catfish fishman, and of course Kaido, future king of the beast. They're all there in attendance. And as they're talking about Harold, Kaido kind of pisses off Rocks. Kaido goes, "Why don't we just take him by force and make him be the one that help us take over this world?" And as he's talking, Rocks instantly kicks him right in the face. Bow! kicks the shit out of him. Hey, don't you ever talk shit about Harold. That's my friend. And if you do it again, you'll be the first one that I take care of. And Lin, everybody's like, hey, relax. No need for things to get out of hand here. All right, relax. Everybody just relax. There's no run ruler. But of course, if anybody does not see the way that I see it, you can go ahead and get off. So listen up, folks. Elbaph is the key to taking down the Holy Land. And if you don't trust me up on that, please get lost. It's up to you whether or not you want to follow me on this, fateful day of our mission. But you've got the stones for it, then step your ass up. And if not, hit the road. Of course, they all look on like, I believe in what you're saying. So stick around for a minute. Stick around for me for a bit. And I'll show you the peak of this world. And we all see the famous laugh that looks just like Teach's laugh going on in the background as the chapter comes to an end. We see the Rocks Pirates are now finna move out. We see everybody in attendance now. All the big players are starting to line up for this war of wars to start happening. And for the 4 years that passed by that Rocks warned Harold about before he takes over things into his own hands. I cannot wait to see the next chapter, because I know the next chapter we're going to talk probably more about just the connection that they all have with one another. And it's called Legendary Bar, which means at the Legendary Bar, we're going to have a nice conversation. But this is 12, of course, finna sign off after these brief words of making sure that you all are in attendance for full effect. For one, giving us your best comments down below about how you like the chapter reviews or the chapter itself. Two, what do you think will happen up next? Three, of course, hitting that like button and comment down below. After you comment down below, hit the like button and make sure you share that with your friend or your auntie as a friend. Doesn't matter who you share with, as long as you share with one person. That one person can share with somebody else, and that somebody else can share with somebody else, and keep it moving and grooving down there. You feel me? We are officially partners with Twitch, with YouTube, and I am extremely proud of the trajectory that is about to happen with me and 16 taking over the 1216 podcast for what we gotta do. And if you don't want to miss it, anytime you don't want to miss anything that we do drop, you can turn on the notification bell, because you get notified every single time that we drop something. And please make sure you guys are dropping in with some of the new follows that we have. We have new things, super chats, all kind of stuff, memberships. Come join the Grand Fleet. You know how we get down already. All right? This is 12 officially finna sign off, and we'll be seeing you guys in the next chapter review. Peace.